This week's AEW Dynamite featured several promising bouts, including the much anticipated Dax Harwood vs Cash Wheeler match. Apart from that, Sammy Guevara defended his TNT Championship against Scorpio Sky in a ladder match, plus Serena Team and Hikaru Shida went to war while Blackpool Combat Club were in action against the Factory. Stacked episode of Dynamite coming up, and let's get straight into it with the Battle of the FTR members. A crowd would chance for FTR as Wheeler and Harwood kick things off with some old school chain wrestling and quick reversals. Harwood caused tension when he seamlessly poked at Wheeler in the eye, making the former unhappy as he hit a brutal chop on his opponent. Next, Harwood hit a series of shots. Both performers were on the top rope, from where Dax Harwood hit a picture-perfect suplex on Cash Wheeler. Both performers then went back and forth inside the ring during a break, with neither gaining a sufficient advantage. Back to the live broadcast, Wheeler hit many back and forth suplexes on his tag partner. Harwood and Wheeler shared some quick pinfall attempts, with the latter reversing powerbomb attempt to close count. Harwood next hit a slingshot Elijah bomb for another 2 count. Moments later, Wheeler hit a power driver, but Harwood kicked out again. And Wheeler took to the top rope, but Harwood got on his feet just in time. The action seemed to build to the outside, with Wheeler struggling with his right knee. Both men managed to get back inside the ring before the referee counted them out. Next, Harwood attempted to sharpshooter, but Wheeler turned it into an inside cradle for a close count. Just then, Harwood countered an inside cradle of his own for the victory. And yeah, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. In fact, no, it's not. It's going to get an 8 out of 10 from me. This was just brilliant. Technical wrestling perfection from the beginning, and just the storyline element, of course, with the obvious connection. Just great from start to finish. Love this. The announcers confirmed AEW champion Hangman Page would defend the title against Punk at Double or Nothing, and the straight edge superstar quickly made his rings to ringside, where he stated that he couldn't promise a win at the pay-per-view, but he would put his best foot forward. And yeah, no build obviously because Hangman's got COVID, but still a great way to announce it. It was inevitable and a decent enough promo from Punk. Backstage, Sky boasted about his AEW career and added that he was screwed out of losing the TNT title. He next predicted the Philly fans were eagerly waited to see him defeat Sammy Guevara before we got Blackpool Combat Club versus the Factory. Moxley attacked Comorado even before the match began, leading to members on both sides quickly coming to blows. Once the bout kicked off, the Blackpool Combat Club was in the driver's seat until Comorado began assaulting Wheeler Yuta thanks to his size advantage. The Factory continued to isolate Yuta throughout the break. Back on Dynamite, the Pure Champion then hit a suplex on Solo, finally allowing him to tag in the American Dragon, who hit a top rope suicide, taking down Marshall and Comorado on the outside. Inside the ring, Danielson unleashed a series of kicks on Solo, after which he locked into the belt lock, with Marshall soon broke up after. Moxley soon entered the ring and took down the Factory leader. Danielson then tagged in Yuta, while Solo managed to tag in Comorado, who showed his physical dominance. However, Wheeler Yuta began hammering elbow shots on Comorado, after which he rolled him up to pick up the victory. And yeah, gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Decent enough match. It kind of seemed booked on the fly a bit, but yeah, Blackpool Combat Club continued to build up the momentum before they get another major storyline, but yeah, gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Backstage, Tony Storm alongside Ruby Soho traded barbs with the fellow Owen Hart Foundation tournament participants Baker and Hayter. Before backstage, Jungle Boy explained that he could have defeated Kyle O'Reilly last week, but Christine criticised him for giving excuses and challenged any team to step up to the champions. This led to Starks and Hobbs answering the challenge. And yeah, is this the first sign of tensions? It certainly seems like it. Before we got Wardlow versus Lance Archer. Even before the match on Dynamite started, the Mad Heart Monster turned down Wardlow. Back in the ring, Mr. Mayhem quickly recovered and unleashed a series of quick moves on his opponent. When Wardlow went for the powerbomb, Archer countered it and attempted to chokeslam, but in vain. The former IWGP US champion hit a moonsault on his opponent, followed by a chokeslam for a close count. Lance Archer next got Wardlow in a position for a blackout and executed it, but Wardlow kicked out. Next, Mr. Mayhem hit Senton with Mad Hot Monster for a 2 count. Finally, Wardlow found an opening and unleashed 4 back-to-back powerbomb symphonies on Archer to secure yet another victory. And yeah, Wardlow just gets more and over by the week, doesn't he? Another great performance from him. And yeah, loving the whole stuff between him and MJF, and just can't wait for Double or Nothing when it probably gets paid off. 7 out of 10. Cool Hand Anglin took the mic and made it clear that there would be no violence against the JAS, as approved by Tony Khan. Eddie Kingston and Pound and Powerful soon came out, with Jericho urging the Mankind to apologise for what's gone down between them so far. After trading a few more bars, Kingston stated he was here to fight, but Jericho boasted his stable had the advantage in terms of number. The former champ added that no other wrestling company wanted Kingston, and that he would take a step back if he wanted to remain in AEW. The Mankind fired back and claimed that he was the influencer and was afraid to walk away with Santana and Ortiz. And yeah, just building up more and more. That's another one where we're just biding time before Double or Nothing. Before the Professor and Shida began hammering each other as Serena Deeb took on Hikaru Shida in their kind of payoff match. The former women's champion set up a chair outside, but the Professor managed to escape back inside. Moments later, Deeb set up a steel chair inside the ring, dropping Shida knee first onto it. The former NWA women's champ assaulted her opponent during the break, targeting her weakened knee. Deeb then pulled out another steel chair and smashed it onto Shida's left knee. Back to the live broadcast, Shida sent Serena Deeb face first into the chair and kept the middle of the ring. However, Deeb soon blindsided her opponent and pulled out a kendo stick to attack Shida. The former women's champ then managed to hit a backdrop on the Professor, finally finding an opening. Hikari then began hammering Deeb with a kendo stick, followed by some knee shots. Deeb picked up the chair with Shida, accidentally hitting her injured knee on the steel chair. Both performers went to the top rope when Shida hit an avalanche powerbomb for a close count. Next, Shida choked Deeb with a kendo stick, but the latter blindsided her. Deeb under next hit a detox on Shida, followed by a Serenity lock. The Professor next smashed Shida's knee onto the steel chair and locked in the Cloverfield to secure the victory on Dynamite. And yeah, this was a big win for Shida, and I wonder if it's kind of preparing her for that match next up against Thunder Rosa at Double or Nothing. It'll be interesting, but it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Backstage, MJF called up someone asking for them to show up on next week's Dynamite against Wardlow. After hanging up the call, MJF seemingly teased that person on the other side. Couldn't teach that. Wink wink nod nod, I think we all know who that is. Fuego del Sol was lying on the entrance route with the House of Black about to unmask him. An anonymous figure inside the ring stopped them, saying a mask was sacred for a luchador. Pac, Penta and Alex Abrahantes soon made their way to the entrance route, and revealing the person was the returning Phoenix, and the Death Triangle then took down the House of Black. Yes, so happy Phoenix is back. It's felt like ages, but yeah, he's just so great. I'm so happy he's back. Backstage, Swerve Strickland and Darby Allin hyped up their upcoming Owen Hart qualifying match, and that's going to be a banger on Rampage. Before we got Martin, Brock Anderson, Lee Johnson and the Varsity Blondes against the Undisputed Elite. Pillman Jr. and Garrison showed some great teamwork in the beginning as they took down O'Reilly. The action seemed turned chaotic with all members coming to blows. Martin soon took out Redragon with a top rate suicide on the outside. During the break, the Elite regrouped, assessing their differences to focus on the match. O'Reilly and Fish began isolating Anderson, taking advantage of his experience. Anderson soon moved to hit a DDT on Lee Johnson, but the Young Bucks soon hit a super kick. Nick Jackson then took out the Varsity Blondes with a moonsault on the outside, while Matt took out Dante and Brock inside the ring. The Young Bucks and Redragon hit a BTE trigger on Johnson, followed by Adam Cole hitting the boom to secure the win. And yeah, just part of the long-term story really until Kenny comes back, it seems. But you know, for what it was, this is a good TV match. Gets 6 out of 10. Next up was Sammy Guevara v Scorpio Sky in a ladder match, but before Jericho Association Society hit a fireball on Eddie Kingston in the parking lot, leaving him receiving in pay. But anyway, Scorpio Sky v Sammy Guevara, and it began with Sky viciously attacking the Spanish guy on the outside, with the crowd firmly rooting for Sky. He smashed Guevara with a ladder before placing it inside the ring. Guevara then finally found an opening when he hit a German suplex on Sky on the outside. The Spanish guy quickly climbed the ladder to pull down the TNT title, but Sky stopped him just in time. The two performers continued to outsmart each other and climbed on the ladder, but in vain. Guevara attempted a 450 moonsault on Sky, but couldn't connect perfectly. Conti was then causing a nuisance of herself on the outside, attacking Sky from behind, while Guevara was on the outside, recovering from a bad landing. The TNT champion then entered the ring with a ladder, but Sky took him down again. While Sky was climbing the ladder to pull down the title, Guevara used the other, heading to the leap and hit a cutter. However, Scorpio Sky quickly cancelled it down and hit a cutter of his own. Sky next brought out the barbed wire wrapped ladder, but Guevara quickly capitalised and Sky spine first into the ladder. Next, Lambert and Ty Conti entered the ring, with the latter hitting a low blow to take down Lambert. Just then, Paige Van Zandt came out and attacked Conti. However, Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara quickly got back on their feet and attacked Van Zandt. Sky and Guevara then attempted to climb the ladder with Conti on Sky's back, while Van Zandt was on the Spanish God's back trying to stop him. Once Conti and Van Zandt were down, Sky and Guevara went back and forth on the top, with Scorpio Sky ultimately putting down the title. After the match, Frankie Kazarian came out and had a minor stare down with Sky before the new TNT champion began his celebration as Dynamite went off air. Seems like that's the first challenger, but on the whole, hopefully this is this feud over now. I mean, I'm not really a fan of the hot potato, and we haven't really seen it in AEW, and yeah, I'm not a massive fan of it, to be honest. So it gets a 6 out of 10 for me. It's a decent enough match, but can't we just just keep the TNT title and have a consistent run? Hopefully Babyface Sky can have that now. But yeah, just in terms of the whole booking of the thing, it gets a 6 out of 10 only. Overall, Dynamite this week gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought it was a decent episode of Dynamite this week. Lots going on, loads of great matches. But on the whole, there were some funny booking decisions in there that I wasn't quite a fan of. But on the whole, I thought it was a pretty decent episode of Dynamite, and lots going on, just building ever so slowly up towards Double or Nothing, which is actually closer than you think now. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Any thoughts, comments down below. Follow us to the subscription for daily wrestling news and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.